What's up? What's up? It's your boy Big Hongry, back on a Monday and a Tuesday, and we got the guy Ando, photographer from the SFC. You know what I mean? Pillar in the community, world traveler, all around. Where you coming back from right now?
I just got back from about 5 weeks in Barcelona.
So you say you live out there now?
I was living out there until March. And then I got rid of my apartment, and I've been kind of just bouncing around since March, like between like San Francisco and Barcelona, but definitely more San Francisco.
For sure. What's like making you want to just get rid of your spot in SF?
For me, I think just like, I think I've spent a lot of time in San Francisco, and I think it's to just kind of like creatively, I find a little more inspiration just on the road. So I've been really trying to just sort of maximize my road time as much as possible and see as much of the world as I can. It's definitely for photography, but also just like going on skate trips and stuff is fun. It's like,
yeah, for sure. Are you snapping a lot of photos out there in Barcy?
Yeah, I've been taking a lot of stuff. Definitely some skate stuff, but I've been working on like a project here in San Francisco for the Institute of Contemporary Art.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and it's like a big group show that I curated. So I was kind of just shooting some stuff for that, and sort of trying to like see what I can do with like less equipment. Like I just bring like one little camera. Man,
that's so interesting you say that, because I love shooting and stuff, but the gear is one thing I haven't grasped yet. Like, and I like kind of traveling light with it, or just keeping my little film camera. But then like when you're going out with somebody that's about to rip, you want to like get something that they can be stoked on too.
You got to be prepared, you know. That's the hard part. And like I think like the minimal equipment that you need to shoot like a proper skate photo. It's a lot of stuff to roll with sometimes. Yeah,
and then that's also a toss up too, because there's people who just keep one little camera, and they that turned out to be a proper, like, it's hard to say what a proper skate photo
you know what, I look at like I mean, I'm 43 years old now, and I think back to when I was like younger, like reading skate magazines and stuff like that, and the types of photos I was looking at, and it was so simple. Like you got like guys like Dennis McGrath or Tobin Yelland or stuff like that. Like Tobin's work is like so simple and so amazing that like I kind of started thinking about that and was like, you know what, like I don't necessarily need all this stuff all the time. And so I've been trying to like find a little more inspiration with stuff like that.
Tobin's got some really cool photos, and I like to think that it was just him and a flash. You know what I mean? Just one flash and just the camera, you know? I
mean, even no flash sometimes. Like some of my favorite photos of his are just like simple black and white photos, like really amazing stuff. And it's hard because I feel like with a majority of the magazines, there's sort of like a level or like a formula that you kind of have to have for your photo.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like I'd say like, you know, Slap really opened the door up for like those types of photos, like the kind of simpler photos and more like capturing the essence. And now I think like a lot of times with magazines, or just really any kind of like work with a camera now, there's like a level, because cameras are like
getting so high tech and more in depth.
It gets to be like, people are like, oh, that's all you're doing. We need this and this and this.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's cool. I think that's fine. You know, I totally enjoy still shooting with all that gear and like all that stuff too. But it is so nice when you travel and you just have like a little tote bag with you, and you got like 6 rolls of film and like 2 lenses or something. And you're like, cool, whatever.
That's all
like
I need.
I've been into that a lot lately, for sure.
Who did you shoot photos for Slap? Did you get some?
No, never. That was like before my era. I mean, I kind of, you know, I didn't really shoot. I kind of never shot skate photos until probably like the early 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah, like I So the way that I got into photography was I actually was like a musician, right? And I lived in New York for 5 years, and I was doing all this kind of like.
Did you grow up on the East Coast or out here?
I grew up in San Francisco.
You grew up in San Francisco, right?
Yeah, and I started working at FTC like very young, like when I was like 12 or 13.
Where we gonna get to that?
But basically, I was living in New York, and I was doing all this like kind of like sound production stuff, like for like off Broadway plays.
Oh,
so I was making. But I mean, it wasn't like any money or nothing. It was just.
No, but still, though, that's hella tight just to even be on the scene.
I was really into music, and I was like, I had all the like the Roland VS840 and all the little shit, and like I played a bunch of instruments, and so I was doing that, and then I moved back to San Francisco in like probably 2004.
Okay.
And when I got here, I realized like, oh damn, there's no like market for like music, there's no money or nothing like that, and I wanted to like figure something out. So I was like, I had been into taking photos for a long time, and so I was like, I'm gonna actively like try to switch my like creative energy into like taking photos. And so basically what I did was I bought a Polaroid camera at Goodwill, and I just started taking Polaroids of people, because also too, like I was friends with all these photographers and stuff, but I never, to be honest, I never thought there was any hope of like achieving much. So I was like, let me try to figure out a way to like be part of it, but in my own way. So I would just take Polaroids of people like
just
around.
Kicking it, at the spots.
Yeah, exactly, like behind the scenes stuff. And then actually about a year or two after like that, Dennis McGrath was like, dude, you should get a real camera.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you should probably just start taking photos.
Some real photos.
So he sold me like some like sun pack flashes and some stuff that he used, like, and I just kind of got into it then. But I mean, I just sort of like learned on my own, and like Joe Brook kind of told me a bunch of stuff, and Dennis McGrath helped me a lot, and you know, luckily working at FTC, I got to meet all these great like photographers.
Hell yeah, that's tight, man. Because I kind of the same way. Like I was hanging around the homies who ripping, and I'm like, well, I could get in there and take a couple of kick turns and a couple of carb grinds, but I think I should start documenting some of this stuff. You know, and then the more I'm documenting, the more people are feeling it. It came like this level of like, oh, like you shoot photos, and I was like, oh, I just got a camera, you know what I mean, like, and then that starts to turn over, like, oh, this is what it means to say, like, oh, I'm a photographer. Would you like to go out and shoot this photo? Because even being on sessions, I would shoot some stuff, and I remember homies being like, let me know when you're about to shoot the photo, so then that way I can get it proper. And I'm like, oh, okay, I was just trying to be a fly on the wall, you know? And some of those photos are some of my favorite photos, like you were saying about Tobin, like, just photos of like Julian kicking it by some random like road sign or something. It's like, oh damn, like you get the vibe of like what those fools are about to do or what they just came back from doing. You kind of like,
well, I think too, just as a skateboarder, like forget about like even like the photography side of it. It's so cool to be like, you grow up like idolizing skating and skateboarders and stuff like that, and so to be like in those kind of moments with those kind of guys, you're like, dude, I can't believe, like, it's even more rare than having the skate photo. You know, it's like kind of cooler in a way, I think sometimes, is like to have those behind the scenes moments, or like the more like, you know, just whatever, like intimate, I don't know what the word is, but you know, just,
you're right.
You know what I mean? It's kind of cool. And I think like if you can break that barrier with people, then the skate photo is like nothing. They're like, yeah, nah, you're cool. It's all good, dude. Get the photo. Like, like I think that's a fun, for me, that's like way more fun, is like the behind the scenes
stuff. Photos of like, some of my favorite photos are like people just walking down the street. Because then you see like, you kind of can place the time and see what's going on. But thinking of behind the scenes, of one photographer, probably like T-Bo's probably got so much dope ass behind the scenes from the skate world, but then this was also shooting like basketball shit.
I feel like in our kind of like world that we live in the skateboard world, he's the most like prolific photographer.
I was thinking that the other day, because he was posted a bunch of stuff about the homie Angus that just passed away not long ago, and I was like, man, Atiba has been on the scene, been around so many people. It's fucking rad.
Dude, this is a crazy one. So yesterday, I have a show coming up, And so I dropped off a bunch of film. And so I found like 5 rolls of film, and I was like, sick. I don't know. I don't know what this is, dude. There's a photo of Angus on the roll from like 12 years ago.
Damn.
Or like 15 years ago at Wallenberg.
That's sick.
And I was just like, what? Like, I mean, I didn't really know him or nothing, you know.
And back then, that's hella random, because it's not like you was like, oh, let me go and look for some rolls of this kid or something. No,
he's just standing there, like, and I just took a photo of him. It's like, I was like, wow, this is a trip.
You know? Man. He was heavy into skateboarding. I don't think a lot of people who follow him now even knew that.
Right.
I mean, it's even some stuff, like, I didn't know he was really kicking it at Town Park and stuff like that. Because it's just like so far ago, you know.
Right.
But
plus we're like a little older now too, so we missed his like generation
introduction to it. Yeah, for sure. There are some homies that was like, oh no, I used to be there.
Yeah.
I was out busting, trying tricks and shit. He'll be like right there and stuff. Yeah. It's a trip, man. Photography is like it lasts so long. It's like that one quick second. That snap can last for so long. And,
no, it's like a time capsule, man. You know what I mean? It's like up. It's interesting what you can, and like you were saying about like people walking down the street and you can tell the time and all that kind of stuff. Like that's my favorite thing about it is like waiting, like to see those stuff, like forever. Like you could, you know, like people are like, and now there's like this whole thing with like Instagram. It's like, I gotta get this out.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, nah, man, just let it bubble.
Sit on it. Yeah.
Because it's only gonna look cooler in 20 years or whatever, you know. It's like a lot of my favorite photographers, like outside of skateboarding, like probably when they took their photos, they were kind of like, whatever, this is a whatever photo.
For sure.
But then you look at it now and you're like, damn, that's a beautiful photo.
Blow it up, like, like Ricky Powell, like that's dope. How'd you even meet Ricky Powell?
Oh man, I met Ricky Powell on Haight Street one day, just walking down the street.
Okay.
At like 8 a.m. I was like going to get a coffee. And he was just walking down the street with his radio and like smoking a joint.
Word.
And I was like, yo, what's up, Ricky Powell? And he like didn't, he was like, nah, like.
That ain't me.
Nah, like you don't know me. Like, and I'm like, no, dude, you're Ricky Powell. Like, and he's like, how do you know me? Like, I'm like, dude, I'm a photographer. I love your stuff.
Straight up.
And then he was like, okay, yeah, you like my work? Like, you want to buy a print? I was like, yeah. And he pulled out like 50 prints out of his bag.
Oh, damn.
Like just all these crazy prints. And I bought a couple prints and then I took them to FTC and we all bought a couple like photos off him. And then I was just like, yo, man, like let's stay in contact and like.
How far from when you met him then until when you put the
probably like 6 months or something like that.
Relatively
like,
close.
Yeah, he was like out here and I met him and he left like the next day and then we stayed in contact, but it wasn't like I wasn't like blowing him up every day or whatever. But I pretty much just proposed the idea to him like, hey, you want to come out to SF? You could stay with me.
Yeah.
And you know, we can do a show or whatever. Like I'll do I'll like help you do a show. Like I don't even want my work in it.
Word.
And it was funny because he met Kent, the owner of FTC, like the same day roughly.
Yeah.
And Kent's Japanese. And so the whole time he thought that I was Kent. When I was talking to him.
Yeah.
So I picked him up at the airport and he's like, who are you?
Yeah.
He's like, oh man, I thought you were Japanese. I was like, nah, dude.
Nah, like, I'm the dude you met before you met the Japanese dude.
Yeah. But yeah, we ended up becoming like pretty close and I would hang out with him in New York a little bit here and there.
Yeah, after that show, you like went out there and kicked it with him?
Yeah, I went out there a couple times and just like chilled out there with him and hung out and like
that's tight,
shot a bunch of photos of him and like whatever, just hung out at his crib and like I really wanted to like document him because he just was such a character.
Straight up.
You know,
straight
and like
just seeing him pop on the scene and just like kind of out there, but then he's also like reserved. But then as soon as you tap in, he's like opening the reserve.
He's like really extremely smart too, but also just like kind of like out there and I really liked his approach to photography too. That he like, I would ask him these kind of like semi-technical questions, like, oh, what kind of film did you use and this and that. And he's like, man, whatever. Like, I don't know,
straight
whatever.
Up.
And he, I don't know if he really even knew like the ins and outs of like a camera technically. But he knew what he was doing.
Straight up.
He knew like his thing, and like I was like, man, and like. Actually, like there's a photographer here in the city named Ken Godo.
Oh yeah,
right.
The guy.
So Godo, I love
boss.
Godo's work, and Godo told me this thing like a long time ago. He's like, man, if you want to take good photos, like live a good life. And that was like the epitome of Ricky Powell.
Straight up, because he's got photos from all the OG hip hop greatest.
Yeah.
But then like it made me think of a photo of just like Cindy Crawford walking down the street, or like like the photos he got of Andy Warhol.
Yeah.
And just like and it's like you just had to be there on the scene, living a good life, to snap that photo.
Right place, right time. But also he like knew all the people, and he was such a charismatic dude. Like anybody that met him was like, man, you're the best. You know, it was pretty much like he just had that vibe about him. But
yeah, man, God bless the dead, man. Shout out to him. Shout out to Angus, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Legends, man. Yeah, I still got that Harold Hunter photo.
Wow,
from the show you did with him. Like, that was pretty dope because those prints were huge. They weren't expensive. No. And like I'm just like stoked that I got that. You know, that's just chilling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's funny. Like, I mean, a lot of people I think maybe didn't even really realize how good those were.
How legendary that was.
You know, they were kind of like, oh, cool, I bought a print, and I'm like, man, I think about that all the time. I'm like, dude, I hope everyone that got those still has those. Cause
straight up, man. That's the cool part about the art side of photography, because there is the business side and the technical side, but when it all comes down to it, people just want to look at something and be like, this is tight, you know?
Yeah.
But finding that balance as a photographer is a little crazy, from knowing that you can take a good photo to then being like, okay, I want to make money off of this. But then you have to step into a whole new world of, okay, let me get on the call list, so when they come into town, they want to hit me up and all that. And that kind of almost takes the fun away from it sometimes. But if you get into the point where you're making money off of it, then it's cool. But I imagine it being a little more stressful at that point too.
Yeah, I think what I think was really distracting for photographers right now, at least what I notice, is like, I mean, I hate to even say this, but I feel like there's like, sometimes like people's egos get in the way. Like they like take a photo and then they're like, that's worth like a bunch of money in this, right? And it's like, sometimes I think that's a little bit like small-minded, because I'm like, imagine if you like got your work out there and then like you got more jobs and more this, and like there's ways to do it, in I think where you could actually like profit better without it being like
you're hoarding your photos or something like that.
or like you're just trying to like commoditize like your work. Like you can create work to get jobs that pay you money versus like creating work to try to sell it.
Yeah.
You know, like that's like the show that I'm doing at ICA, like we're printing like 300 photos.
Oh damn.
They're huge. They're like the Ricky Powell ones.
Okay,
same size. Same.
So the spacing is pretty big.
It's massive. Yeah, it's a museum. So it's But the whole concept of the show is that we're giving all the photos away the night of.
That's a trip.
So like, and there's like Ricky's in there, it's a bunch of photographers that I've like looked up to.
That's tight.
And basically like the idea behind the show was like to like take away like the money value from the work and make it more of like, and have an impact, like get your work to be seen and to just to like have somebody own it. And like it's basically we're trying to like break the rules of like a normal museum.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you can go in there and you can take it off the wall and you can leave with it.
And that's it. Yeah.
And you leave with it, and it's like, so it's like I'm trying to figure out ways to like.
Do you think that is like the embodiment of that? You think that's like skater driven vibe, or just?
I think so, but I think it's like skater mentality a little, like DIY mentality.
Exactly, right? Okay.
Yeah, but I think also too, I've been working for a photo agency here in San Francisco, and like I deal with some pretty like high end clients.
Got you.
And I see just like this juxtaposition in the world of like, okay, here's like how these crazy rich people want it, and then like my like skater
friends want it, yeah.
Right, and I'm like, how can we like make these two kind of work, you know, like, but it's hard. I don't know. I mean, I think it's really difficult to make money off of photos. It's
for
like,
sure.
You know, even the best photographers in the world, like a lot of them are broker than you think.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So when did that like? Was that like a harsh lesson for you to think like, okay, I'm fucking with the photo shit, and then you got the OGs putting you on, so now you probably getting gassed up like, oh, I'm next up, or I'm about to start doing this, and then you kind of realize it's not really sustainable.
I think
as far as like making a full living.
I think that happened for sure, but then luckily, like what happened with me is that I figured out like I figured out my motivation, right? I was like, okay, like instead of making like money be my motivation, I mean, you got to make money. I work, like I have jobs and shit. You have to, but like it's like creatively, I'm not like creating to sell my work. Like I'm like I realize like if you do it because you're like into it, you're gonna just keep doing it, and you're gonna get better at it, and you're gonna just keep shooting, and you're gonna get like those great photos because you're just shooting a lot. It's like a numbers game sometimes, so I figured I like actively switched my like motivation to be like, you know what, I'm so happy that I get to be in these situations with my friends and make that the like prize out of it.
For sure.
Versus like, oh, I'm with these dudes, I'm gonna get this sick portrait and I'm gonna sell it to these people. It's like,
for this brand.
Right, like it's like, nah, like forget about that. And like, and I'll say like, it's probably like, hurt me in a little bit of ways because like sometimes maybe I don't take jobs as seriously as I should.
Got you.
But I'm super happy with my work, and I'm like, whatever, man, like that, like if they don't want it, I'll keep it for 10 more years, and like whatever. It's like, like I just build my stuff up, and like I hate to even say it, but it's like sometimes I think about just stacking my work forever and then hoping that like when I die
somebody's just like
because it's like that's sort of like what
it's
happens.
Like finding Vivian Myers.
Exactly. Exactly.
I think a lot of us was like, oh, okay, cool. This is all I got to do is just stack this shit in the room, and then when I croak, somebody's gonna come and pull it out the thing, and it'll be all good. Because I definitely after watching that, I felt a little relief of like, man, there are people who just like to shoot and get photos that are worth money or can be sold, but they just like keeping them for themselves. You do get a thrill. It's the same way of like if you, it's kind of like opposites, but like if you're somewhere and you don't film something on your phone, I was at the A's game the other day and I was like, put out my phone for a second, I'm like, man, I'm just enjoying this. I don't need to show no one that I'm at a game right now. Like,
I mean,
I'm here,
so I carry a camera with me like pretty much all the time, and
got you.
It's like specifically because of the phone, because like we're all so ingrained in like, oh, hold up, like, right? So when I have that feeling now, I'm like, hold on, let me think about what I'm doing here. Let me just take it on that.
Straight up.
And then it's like, I don't share it because it's film, and it's like, I wait, and then, you end up like capturing more moments, and I don't know, I'd still take photos on the phone, obviously, everybody does, but in general, I really have been trying to like actively use my phone stuff for like one reason, and then like
pull out the film camera to get those quick snaps.
Because I was like, there was trips that I would go on where I'd be shooting like mostly digital because it's like skate stuff, and just like I'm just banging stuff out with my phone, like of all the homies, and I'm like, man, if I just had like a camera with me, it'd probably be a lot better.
They just the grain on it would look a little.
Just anything, like it's just even like the imperfection in it makes it like so much better and more personal and just cool.
Yeah, I get the joy out of it. I got like at least like 60 rolls, maybe a little less now because I keep kind of going through them. Just like stacked, and I don't know what's on them. I try not to keep adding to the pile. But I'm just hard. Like, but there is something cool about like getting everything in the can and then just like letting it sit. And then like that bug in my ears like, need to go and get that, and then like scan it and everything is like, I'll do that when it comes time if I'm gonna make a zine or something like that, At first though, I was like super fired up on getting them and then straight posting them to get everybody to be like, look what I'm doing, But then after a while, it's like, if I'm not doing this, if I'm not posting them to try to get some brand to reach out or something like that, then I just don't really.
I used to think I had to post like one photo a day. And I would like and I started noticing I was like going out shooting like, oh, I gotta go out with some skaters today and like get a photo. I gotta keep it going, and then I was like, what am I doing? Like,
you kind of burn yourself out like that.
Well, I was just like, dude, what, like not to say like they were great photos, but like they're just wasted on Instagram where you're like what I try to do now with skate photos is I just literally just sit on them for like forever, and then it's like like good example, Lakai video just dropped.
Word.
And like I shot a bunch of stuff with those dudes like maybe a year ago. I don't know. Or like, maybe like a year.
You were on some of those sessions though, for sure.
No, definitely. And like, honestly, I didn't even put it together that they were like filming a video, you know. But I was like, I don't need to post this shit. And then it's like I watched the video and I was like, oh shit, I have a photo of that. I have a photo of that. Like I was psyched, but it's like, I think
that's tight though because you held on to them, and didn't post them like right then and right away.
Well, it's weird like with companies now. I feel really weird about like posting anything. Like I'm just like, man, you guys here, you take it, and like like my I try to do like repost, you know, or like wait for someone else to post it, and it's like, I don't know. I feel like people waste a lot of good work on Instagram, like even just not skate stuff, just like other stuff.
Yeah, people taking like amazing photos of like the bridge or like some waterfall or something. They just send it straight to.
But I understand though too, because maybe that's like the outlet that they have or whatever. You know, like we're lucky because we have like the biggest family in the world. We have like the skateboard community, so it's like we get a lot of support no matter what. Really, no matter where we are and what we're doing, it's like somebody's down for you, but. Like I understand like people using it for their advantage, like Instagram and stuff, but sometimes I do think it gets like overused.
Yeah, being an artist, like in the rap world and stuff, I'm like always trying to juggle like, damn, this week should I make these videos of me rapping into the camera, or should I put that energy into like actually making music and then getting the music out? But even when you do that, you want to market it, so at some point you're gonna have to be talking to the fucking camera, doing something. It's just where we at now. But it's cool to be a little more meticulous about it. Yeah,
I mean we're getting older, and I think it's like, you know, it's smarter to like value your time and value like the work that you do, and even if it's like only valuable to you, it's like that's kind of the only thing that really matters.
Yeah, because you got to feed your soul.
Right.
You got to feed what keeps you fired.
Right. Like keep it real and just do what you are wanting to do, and like it not to say it'll work out, like not to be all like that, but it's like, you know, you'll be happy because you're like, fuck, I'm just doing what I'm doing.
Or
you know,
well, I know you got to be stoked because how did you even start working at FT? Like you said you was 13, you just walked in there and was just...
so when I was in 8th grade, I had to go to summer school because I wasn't like a very good student.
Wasn't pulling it?
Nah.
Same.
And I went to summer school at Sacred Heart, which is like on Ellis and like Franklin or some shit down there. And the old FTC was on Franklin and Bush.
Okay.
So when I was like 12, like this is like summer of 93. So summer of 93, I was like going to summer school, and I'd get out at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I would just walk over to FTC because it was like 3 blocks from my school.
Where?
And I would just sit there
and just kick it.
Dude, I wouldn't even talk. I was so shy.
Concrete Jungle wasn't.
That was like that was definitely before my time, but that was over in the Haight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was like before my time. Like I think I started skating around like 91 probably. My cousin actually lived with Tommy Guerrero.
Oh, okay, sick.
And he gave me he gave me like a board from Tommy Guerrero, like the first, like the purple, like the TG logo.
Yeah.
Like it was purple. Like he gave me one of those, and I want to say that was probably 91, 92 or 92, something like that. And yeah, for Christmas, like I got like this drum machine for Christmas, and my cousin wanted it, so I traded him for a skateboard, and then that's kind of
that's how I
pretty much. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I knew who Tommy Guerrero was
for sure,
and my cousin always skated. He grew up, or he was like his best friend was like Tommy's best friend from like the 80s, so
shit.
I always kind of knew of like
that's a good end though.
Those dudes. This dude Mark Babbis was my cousin's best friend, and Mark was like the most insane fucking like hill bomber.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, did you who was you seeming like bombing hills back then? Because that's
these
one
dudes,
of the old thing.
These dudes used to go up. I mean, I remember them doing like backside ninth and stuff like that. But these dudes used to go up to Mount Tam on the full moon.
Damn.
And do it at night
and bomb it down.
And they would do it at night so that you could see the headlights of the car.
Damn.
And I would be in the van like with the girlfriend or whatever, you know, just like I was like 7, like you know, like
so like you've been around skating since you was young as fuck.
Yeah, I think like the first time I was really exposed to skating was like probably like 6 or 7 or something like that. And
that's a trip going on those missions and just like because I'm thinking about at that age, like
but I'll be honest, I didn't really understand it.
Word.
Like at all.
Word.
Like I didn't, like to me it was like, oh, it's like a thing. It's like a thing. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like at that age, you don't really know what the fuck is going on.
I didn't really,
you're aware that
I didn't really realize that it was like a whole world and like until like the 91, 92. Like started reading Thrasher, you know, watching videos and shit like that. And like obviously I'd seen like Animal Chin or whatever, but like rented it at like the movie store or whatever. But like I didn't really understand like what was happening until I was probably like 11 or 12. And then I was like, oh shit, there's like a whole world. Yeah. You know? And luckily, I mean, I grew up
hiding in plain sight too. Like,
and luckily I
started looking at curves different and shit.
Everything. And then I grew up in San Francisco, so it was like, you know, at that time it was just
it was going off,
you know. So like, you started going down to Embarcadero. You see like hundreds of people skating on a Saturday, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, and just at that time, like hanging out at FTC, it helped meet a lot of people. I mean, I was such a shy kid and like just a big dork and like, you know.
How long was it until you actually start setting up boards for people and shit though?
So that was like summer '93. I think I started working there, like little odd jobs. Like my first job there was actually cleaning up a bunch of dead rats.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
that's like what they didn't do here, man.
They didn't want to do it, and they were like, you can get a video. So I got like the color video or something.
Oh, so it was like you clean the shit up, we hook you up with a video.
Yeah, and then that's how it worked, and then. At the old shop, I would do like stuff for like product, you know, here and there. Gotcha. And then the one when they moved to Schrader Street, which I think was 94, I starting working there the very first day.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so the very first day they opened, like I was there and like I worked 1 day a week and then it just, you know, progressed from there. Like,
damn, so you've seen that place just like bubble up too, like just go further and further, make it overseas.
I mean, that's like my family now. It's like, you know, those guys like basically turned me into who I am, so I owe them like everything. You know? Like even the OG dudes that worked there that like didn't skate. There was like dudes that worked there that didn't even skate, who were like
just a regular job for them.
Yeah, but they were like the dudes who set up like the tab book. Okay. Like these dudes knew every fucking skater in the world, and they just didn't skate. They just happened to like work there and like.
That's a trip.
Yeah, it was an interesting crew of dudes, you know, and like I'm still friends with all of them to this day, you know.
That's tight. Yeah. That's tight. Yeah, was that, because I remember seeing you with Larry June over in Japan? Was it Japan? Was that for an FTC shoot? Or
that was, well, we didn't shoot anything. We went there, we opened a store.
Oh, okay.
And like, I had shot some photos of Larry for Diamond or something.
Oh, okay.
And then like, we kind of became friendly, and then he came to FTC one day, and he had mentioned something about Japan, and I'm like, yo, I'm going to Japan like in 2 weeks.
Oh, sick.
And he's like, bro, I want to go, you know? And so I talked to Kent, and we're like, yeah, fuck it, let's go. So we all went, and, you know, it was right on the cusp of him, like...
blowing up even more. I mean, he was already popular.
He was really popular for sure, but now it's like, he's like a whole different...
For real.
You know? But yeah, that was a fun trip. We really just went out there and like hung out. We opened a store. We went out to like a store opening. I think it was Osaka or something. I forget. Or Nagoya or something. But like we all just went there, took the train, or you know, flew out there, took the train, and then just fucking partied.
Was Nico with y'all too?
Yeah, Nico was with us. Chico, a bunch of people.
Okay, sick. Yeah. Oh, so that store in Japan just opened. Like that was like 4 years ago now?
So we have 3 in Japan.
Oh, it's 3 in Japan.
The one in Tokyo has been there for like 12 years or maybe more, 15 years. And then
it's been there.
We opened one in Nagoya and Osaka, and I forget which one like is which, but we opened one of them in March of 2020.
Exactly.
So, which sucks.
Because it was like COVID stuff.
Right. And we were all supposed to go back out, but but yeah, I haven't been since. We're actually supposed to go in October. Same crew. Larry's coming, I believe.
Sick.
Nico, Chico, like we're kind of running back.
Crew, yeah. That's tight. Yeah, I haven't been over there. I want to check it out.
Oh, you would love it.
Yeah.
It's the future over there. It's
that photo of Nico on the cover, did you shoot that?
No.
Oh, okay.
Dan
Z shot that. Yeah. I mean, I could have looked that up before. But
No. Yeah, Dan Z shot it.
I just thought, because I just know you got hella sick ass photos of Nico.
I got a lot of photos of him for sure. I have some good skate photos of him, but I have just so many more, like, just whatever.
Just kicking it and stuff. Yeah.
I think I might have like his first skate photo though.
Okay, tight.
Yeah, he's riding like a his board is like completely like square tail, razor tailed out, like from just kick turning everywhere. Yeah. He's probably like 11 or something. He's just doing a kickflip off this ledge.
Sick. Yeah. That shot is sick. It's just dope because it's like a city spot, city kid.
Yeah. I love him. He's the best, dude. He's like such a good kid, and he like puts on for the city so hard. He like loves San Francisco.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
for sure. EMB. You spent a lot of time down there for sure, right?
Yeah, I skated down there a lot. I mean, I wouldn't say I was like part of any EMB crew or anything like that, but I definitely
it was like just by proximity, like
I was pretty young. I was like 12 or 13, and then maybe 14, and like. As I skated more, I like definitely would go down there and skate quite a bit.
Was you shooting any photos down there?
I was actually, yeah. So when I was like 16, I had a camera, and I only took photos of like my friends. Like,
gotcha.
You know.
Yeah, you wasn't like going up to all the older cats and like trying to snap.
But I got like photos of my homie like kickflipping the 7. And,
that's tight though.
You know, shit like that. Like just us hanging out, and like we would skate Black Rock quite a bit, and then we would do like the whole like circle, like Black Rock, Brown Marble, you know, whatever, Embarcadero, like kind of move around. I mean, downtown at that time was like Wonderland, dude. It was just you could just keep moving, and there was stuff everywhere. I skated Wallenberg a lot more than anything though, because I lived kind of near Wallenberg, so I'd go there every single day.
For sure.
And like the crew there was like incredible.
Damn.
It was like Simon Evans, Drake Jones, Josh Kalis, Jamie Thomas.
Sick.
Those dudes were kind of there quite a bit. And
those Wallenberg contests look like that was gnarly too.
That actually, back to that Angus photo I have. It's from a Wallenberg contest.
Oh damn!
Yeah, super random.
Yeah,
but yeah, those contests I don't think I really. Oh, actually, you know what? I was at the one where Chris Markovich tried to kickflip the 4 in like '93. I went back to the city with my mom.
That was a contest that was in like downtown or something like that?
So that was at Civic Center, but then like after that, like everybody went to Wallenberg, and like I ended up
start busting out over there.
Yeah, and I ended up over there with my mom.
Sick.
Yeah, my mom was super cool about like skating stuff, because I think she realized like that like she's like, okay, you can go do that. I'm like, I get some space.
Yeah, for real, because it's exercise, and she probably peeped the scenes like, okay, there's some kind of cash, but then there's majority of people just trying to have fun and do this shit.
Yeah, the city was so different then too, that like as a 12-year-old kid, you could go anywhere you wanted.
Yeah,
you know,
straight up.
I was taking the bus going all over the city when I was like, you know, really young. Like I would take the bus to school every morning, starting at like age 6 or something.
Damn.
So like, when you're 12, you're damn near like, whatever, I got this. Like, you know, I was just cruising all over.
Do you think you get more swag from your mom or from your dad?
Well, you know, my dad passed away when I was 5, so I don't know.
You
like,
don't know the swag.
I think I'm really similar to my dad.
Okay.
From what I can like gather.
For sure.
I look exactly like him.
Yeah.
But my mom was like pretty cool. Like she was pretty open, and she like hung out with a lot of cool people, and just like she exposed me to a lot of stuff, and you know, just basically like, I don't know if she even tried, or if it just like
it just happened, like just because what she was into. Yeah, it's just like
Well, I think San Francisco was really fucking cool then too.
Yeah, for sure. I used
like
to
in
go
the '90s,
there,
SF was like the prime time. You know, like it's funny because we all say like, these years for no matter where you are, you're like, those were the best years. But I'm like, but if you just look at San Francisco as a whole, it's like you got like the 60s and the 70s and the 90s.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like
90s was cool as hell.
Yeah.
Because my mom worked in Embarcadero, so I would just like get off and go over there. But I had no idea what was going on in the skate world or nothing like that.
Yeah.
just getting on the train from Oakland or from Richmond, and growing through Oakland and getting to the city and just stepping off, it was just like Powell Street bustling. It's a trip how it looks now. I'm like,
it's a ghost town.
What the hell is going on over here?
It's pretty crazy, I
mean, but you know, you said the Civic Center. I think that they about to build some shit over there, like build a park over there, or at the UN, or at the
UN Plaza.
UN Plaza, yeah.
Probably, I'm sure they're gonna do something there, but I mean,
there was some rumblings about it. They're talking about
that skate park,
just a skatable object, not like a full park.
I think that'd be smart because it's like if you just look at like statistically, like wherever they put like skate parks, or just look at like Burnside or something like that. Like the first time I went to Burnside, I think I was like 15 or something, and it was a shithole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I give them a lot of credit, like the people that built Burnside and the skaters that went there, for like cleaning up that neighborhood.
Straight up.
You know, like it like instantly changed like once they were there. Like you know, I mean, and I think I don't know if that would happen here, but it's like
that's kind of why I was bringing it up, because I'm thinking like skaters bring an economy just by coming to kick it, whether it's gonna go grab a 12-pack or a bunch of waters or to the superfood store or to the Carl's Jr. Like we're all gonna, and then like the liquor stores and all that, like just to
they don't tolerate a lot of like shady shit, like
exactly.
You know, it's funny because people, I think skateboarding gets a bad rap to like non-skateboarders. They're like, oh, those guys are causing trouble, and it's like actually dude, they're like the ones keeping like shit tight.
Skaters have been through a lot, so if there's somebody who's on the street who's obviously going through a lot, so they're like sleeping by the spot or something, there somehow becomes this bond of like, I get it, you think that we got our shit together, but we don't, and it looks like you're like maybe bad off, worse than us, but we're like right there with you.
Well,
you know
skaters
we're kicking it at the same spot.
Skaters are street smart too. They you know, they're on the street all the time, so like they really like, you really learn how to like read people. You see all this crazy shit, so you're like, nah, this dude, it can't be here, like, or whatever, like we gotta keep an eye on this guy or this or that or whatever, like. So I think it'd be great if they put something down there, you know.
That's what I was thinking too. It's probably turn it around downtown just a little bit, you know, just to get it started. But I never thought of the Burnside effect, really. Because those fools did clean that spot up, and then now, years later, it's fucking condos,
dude, it's crazy,
blocking it in. You know what I mean? And it's like at first they was like, oh, I wouldn't go down there, and now it's like everyone's down there.
No, and it's like I feel like it all started from there.
That energy from there of like,
for sure.
We're gonna handle this. We're gonna get the construction going, everything, and just handle it just for us to.
Yeah, I think it's like a great like study in like just like how like society works or whatever. Like if
philanthropy or something.
I don't know. Like, but if you like look at it, you're just like, man, these dudes like single-handedly changed this fucking neighborhood and like made a place for like kids to go and like cleaned it up and built this. It's like it's like amazing what they did, you know, like
stoked on it. Man. So you got the show coming up soon.
So I got a show August 19th at ICA, Institute of Contemporary Art.
And you're gathering you're doing it all solo, like, or you got somebody helping you out? Like,
I have there's a nonprofit like kind of behind it called Value Culture. Okay. And they do a lot of stuff with like the arts in San Francisco.
Okay. So they're gonna help you get everything printed up and stuff?
Yep. We're printing it. Actually, I'm going to Vallejo today to print everything. Okay. But it's like me and like 25 people roughly. The show. And it's just people I picked out that I like have worked with around the world or whatever, and some well-known people and some not so well-known people. But I wanted to create like a even playing field for everybody to be like displayed in a museum.
That's tight.
And you know, just something to help build the photography community that I'm in. You know,
as far as like getting all that many, because I'm like, I got this photo show in my head that I need to start getting cracking. But as far as like wrangling all that many different personalities, because I mean, you said it's 300 photos.
Yeah, so it's like,
but it's not. It's not 300 photographers.
No. Yeah. It's like 20. It's like 24 total photographers.
Okay.
And then like each photographer has like 11 photos.
And they're all going to be the same size?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good way to dial it in.
Yeah, but they're all huge. They're all like 40 by 60 inches, and but pretty much like.
I'm pulling up to that for sure.
Oh, it's going to be a good one.
How are people going to be able to pick what they want? You just got to get in there and get to it quick.
You have to just come and find out.
Yeah,
but it's like basically like the show changes throughout the night because we're just constantly ripping stuff off the wall.
Yep.
Right. So it's like it's almost like 11 different shows in one night.
Straight up.
And then the goal is to give out every single photo. We have tubes and everything there.
Sick.
So it's like you just if you like want a photo, you just take it pretty much.
That's right.
The goal for me for this one was to get people's work on like people's walls and a museum, and I was like, this is the best way to do it. Give it away for free.
Yeah.
And like they're all one of ones. Like the photos are all like one of one edition. There's no like repeats. There's no nothing. And we got Talago giving us like hundreds and hundreds of free drinks.
Damn.
So it'll be a fun one.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna have to come and check it out.
Yeah.
I mean, this episode, I don't know when this is gonna drop, but
no, that's cool.
Yeah.
It'll
be tight to pull up.
Yeah.
Well, shit, man. I think we've been chopping it up.
Yeah, we did it.
Got an hour in there.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming through.
Thank you, man. Always a pleasure.
Always.
Much respect. Always.
Much respect, man. Much respect.
I really appreciate it.
All right.
And shout out to Schmitty.
Yeah, big shouts out to Schmitty.